Welcome to my channel, USA Battle Zone. Tonight's story isn't just about bravery. It's about judgment, misunderstanding, and the hidden scars of war. It's about a woman who stood in court, accused of being a liar, until a single sentence changed everything. So grab your seat, because what you're about to hear will make you question everything you thought you knew about heroes. The courtroom was silent. Every eye was fixed on the woman standing before the judge, short hair, trembling hands, eyes that looked both defiant and broken. Her name was Lieutenant Commander Sarah Blake. The headlines had already crucified her. Fake Navy SEAL caught pretending to be a hero. The prosecutors called her a fraud, a disgrace to the uniform. They said she faked her service to get veterans' benefits and sympathy. And that day, it looked like the world had turned against her. When the bailiff called her name, she stood tall, or at least tried to. Her lawyer whispered something to calm her nerves, but the damage was done. The internet had already branded her as a phony soldier. People in the back row whispered, "How dare she wear that uniform?" Someone muttered, "She's mocking real heroes." But Sarah didn't speak, not yet. She looked down at the Silver Star medal pinned to her jacket, the only thing she refused to take off even after they arrested her. The judge, an older man with weary eyes, leaned forward. "Miss Blake," he said quietly, "you understand the charges against you?" Sarah nodded. Her voice trembled, but she spoke clearly. "Yes, Your Honor, but I didn't lie." The prosecutor scoffed. "Your Honor, we have evidence showing that no female Navy SEAL exists in the official record. Her story is impossible. The SEALs don't take women. She's fabricating everything." The courtroom murmured again. Cameras flashed. Sarah's eyes watered. She took a deep breath, as if summoning courage from somewhere far away. "May I speak?" she asked. The judge hesitated, then nodded. The room grew still. Sarah began softly, almost whispering. "When I joined the Navy, I never wanted glory. I wanted to serve, to prove I could stand beside anyone, man or woman, in defense of my country." Her voice cracked. "They said I couldn't be a SEAL. But during a covert assignment overseas, when one of our teams went dark, they needed someone fluent in local dialects, with medical training. They pulled me in, off the books." The prosecutor interrupted, "Off the books? That's convenient." But the judge raised a hand. "Let her finish." Sarah continued. "We weren't supposed to exist. The mission never officially happened. But the night we went in, not all of us came back." She paused, chairs finally breaking free. "One of them, my commanding officer, saved me before he died. He told me, 'Don't ever tell anyone what happened here. Not even the Navy will admit it.'" The courtroom was quiet again. The prosecutor smirked. "Touching story, Miss Blake. But without records, without proof, it's just a story. You insult every real SEAL who ever served." Sarah said nothing. She just looked at the judge, not pleading, but exhausted. "I brought something," she whispered. Her lawyer reached into a folder and handed over a small black envelope, sealed with wax. It looked old, battered, like it had been hidden for years. The judge opened it carefully. Inside was a single, faded document stamped classified, restricted access. He read silently. Then his eyes widened slightly. "Where did you get this?" he asked. "It was mailed to me 2 years after the mission. No return address. Just that file, and the medal you see on my chest." The courtroom held its breath. The prosecutor stepped forward, clearly irritated. "Your Honor, with all due respect, we can't verify that document. It could be forged." The judge didn't respond right away. He just stared at the paper, then at Sarah, then at the medal. Finally, in a low voice, he said something that silenced everyone. "That Silver Star is real." The bailiff confirmed it. The serial number was genuine, registered to a mission that technically didn't exist. The judge whispered again, almost to himself, "My God." Sarah's eyes filled again. "I didn't ask for this, Your Honor. I didn't want attention. I tried to live quietly. But when I used the name, SEAL, on a veteran's form, I wasn't bragging. I was remembering the brothers I lost that night." The prosecutor, now pale, stumbled over his papers. "This doesn't prove she." The judge slammed his gavel lightly. "That's enough." He looked at Sarah with something between sorrow and respect. "You've carried this alone for a long time, haven't you? She nodded. 17 years, sir. The judge leaned back, silent for a long time. Then, with a voice that trembled just a little, he said, "This court finds that Lieutenant Commander Sarah Blake acted with honor. The charges are dismissed." The crowd gasped. Cameras flashed again. Not in anger this time, but disbelief. Sarah didn't smile. She just lowered her head, as if the weight she'd carried all those years was finally lifting. As she turned to leave, the judge called after her, "Lieutenant, thank you for your service." For the first time that day, Sarah smiled, faintly, painfully, and whispered, "For them, sir." Always for them. Outside the courthouse, the sky was gray, rain threatening to fall. Reporters surrounded her, shouting questions, flashing microphones in her face. "Were you really a SEAL? Do you have proof? What was the mission?" She said nothing. She simply placed her hand on the medal again, that small piece of silver that had survived more than most people could imagine, and walked away. Behind her, the courthouse bell tolled. Later that night, Sarah sat alone in her tiny apartment. The rain finally came, tapping against the window like the ghosts of her past. She opened a small wooden box. Inside were photographs, faces of the team she'd lost, men who'd laughed, fought, and died beside her. She ran her fingers across each face, whispering their names. Then she pulled out one more thing, a folded American flag, faded and worn. She pressed it to her heart and closed her eyes. For a moment, she wasn't the accused. She wasn't the fake SEAL. She was just a soldier, remembering the mission that no one would ever talk about. The medal gleamed faintly in the dim light, catching the last flicker of sunset. Sometimes, heroes don't need recognition. Sometimes, the greatest service is the one no one ever knows about. Sarah Blake never spoke of that mission again. But those who met her, who looked into her eyes, said there was something there that only true warriors carry, the quiet strength of sacrifice. In the end, the truth didn't make her famous. It made her free. This is USA Battle Zone. A place where we honor the unseen, the unheard, and the unforgettable. If Sarah's story moved you, if you believe that true courage doesn't always wear a uniform in public, then please, like, comment, and subscribe. Because out there, in the shadows of history, there are thousands more stories waiting to be told. Stories of sacrifice, of silence, and of the kind of bravery that never asks for applause. This is USA Battle Zone. And this was her story.